Okay, that's normally the case, and so our analyst test was talking about how much better that the Cerberus draft actually is, but in reality, we know that GE 90% of the time is going to win this game just because they said that. But unfortunately, I don't think it's in the cards for GE today. They've been struggling a lot. They got their substitute AD, and it's not a great look for them at the end of the season here.
It's the desk curse angle, man. Think of the optics. You go on like a 9 game losing spree, and then you get your win by taking out Cerberus. That would be one hell of a move. I'm not gonna lie.
It'd be frustrating for Cerberus fans everywhere. Crincy might actually throw something, or you might throw clockwork. To be quite honest, if I'm being real, off the desk just as fast as possible. But I mean, we could always help, right? Like, there's always good play to be had on the side of Genius. They're a talented team walking into the split. I think we had higher hopes for them than we did other times. There are right times and wrong times. Not to mention there are actions that are solid here. Like something our desk I don't think mentioned all that much is that Gragas might be terrible into Sivir, but Gragas is not terrible into Yumi because you do have point and click CC if you flash the body slam right on top of her, which prevents Huber from reattaching. So there's things like that if you want to get aggressive, but I feel as though it is a difficult draft to try to play out here. They're really hoping their top side gets better, which is why I'm also going to introduce you to another little meme that we have, which is I'm going to say that Coded is bad, because when I say Coded is bad, he plays out of his mind for absolutely no reason. But if I don't say that, then usually he just gets stomped in the laning phase. We'll see if that continues today as well.
All right, well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. Already, my God, here we on this Yumi, just applying a lot of pressure here already. Wow, getting lower and lower. Dude, oh my God, I like to see this. Just the amount of dominance coming out from the cat. You got to protect your territory.
Yeah, not only did BOB like not take E at level 1, which is enough of an indicator for Huber to just kind of stand forward. Cerberus was having some mid-season kind of wallops with their old support Ron OP, who has always been in competition for one of the top spots, but on occasion just has these like dark streaks of poor play. And this split definitely had one of those, which is why Huber comes in as this replacement, usually a pinch hitter, where Ron OP is more of the Alistar, the Leona, the tank type player. Huber is the one that comes in and plays the Enchanters. And since Enchanters have bopped up a little bit more and Ron OP has been faltering just a little bit, Huber's actually done, in my opinion, very, very good work in the replacement pinch hitting slot here, as Drakthar wants some into Yijin. Yijin's got no Q now, which is a difficult position to be in, but Drakthar does not have lane support from topside. Instead, he might just walk up there to try to salvage what's happening with Pun and Coded at the moment.
Yep, looking to maybe find something here, Pun. He's waiting. If you can get that counter strike going, maybe they can find something. Actually, Drakthar did end up looking to find Yijin here instead, looking to just steal away the Gromp here. It's going to have a reset. Nothing really going to come out of that just yet, and so it's going to have to leave that jungle empty-handed. But oh my God, first blood. Meanwhile, the volley going on over to Artemis with that boomerang blade coming back. Rest in peace, Biobot.
Yeah, BOB is feeling it. Unfortunately, it seems like Huber's poke combined with Artemis and Buns is actually in a really bad position as well, as he just has to run backwards on this Jinx.
Yep. Dropping the chomper, but it doesn't even matter. The Yumis are coming through, but not quite gonna catch him. Just gonna drop that ward down instead. Gonna look to back off. But things were looking pretty dicey there for Buns.
Was still very low health as well, so I think it's difficult for BOB to actually get into the bottom lane. And so Artemis and Huber should just be able to dump as many abilities as they want. It's a cannon wave, so it's a little more difficult for Buns to try to push out here. They should have an opportunity to back and spend some of the gold that they've gotten, as it looks like Pun and Coded have both taken their first resets as well, so a little bit more health to work with on the top side of the map. Is scrapping in a couple of places. Easy enough setup for both these teams to just begin the game the way that they would like it to.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing something that I'm noticing that the double Doran's blade start here coming through actually is a Coded also needs to be careful there. That's I don't know what to make of that, if that's just a bug or if that's genuinely happening.
Sometimes it's for the flat stats. It doesn't give you double Omnivamp anymore, so it's a lot less common and a lot less good than it was a long time ago. For some reason, I feel like I've seen Coded specifically do this more often than not. And I'm not really entirely sure why, but you actually get the exact replication of that on Pun in the top side as well. So it's just both double Dorans as of this laning phase, which is cool.
Yeah, double flash coming out here, triple flash coming out as well, and Yado just gets absolutely run into the ground. Nowhere for him to go. Oh, that was a nice little roam coming through here.
Yeah, it's a ramification of Artemis Huber not only getting the kill against BOB, but then also dumping into the wave to make sure they could get a back off when BOB returns to the lane, has a moment of freedom to kind of help out for Blazes. And especially since Slater's been pulled out of the lineup, if Genius Esports really want to make competition happen, it's got to be through this mid lane, through Blazes, even though he hasn't had the greatest of splits. Is this actually how... No,
Oh.
shit. Huber just did him so dirty with the Ignite. Oh.
That is evil. Absolutely evil. That's all I can say to that, with Drakthar grabbing himself the crab, looking to maybe head on down. No, gonna opt instead. Head on up. Drag is still up at the moment. Not pivoting towards it just yet. We see the bottom side coming through onto Artemis, but he just does maybe too much damage here. The heal's coming through. He's trying to find that solo kill. The flash coming out from Buns. And so he's going to be safe for now, but oh my god, the double threat coming over the wall, and then Blazes spots him out. Yada with the dash to look to go in. Can he get that kill? He will indeed. You can't cleanse death. Down he goes. BOB eating the dirt as well, and Blazes is just barely getting out of that one. Charging up that Volt Breaker, but it's nothing for you to break there except your own health bar if you decide to go in on that one.
They got a wave pushed as well, so it's an easy way to get out of this situation. The next wave should be coming to 2, so they should have 2 plates off minimum. Dragon setup is there as well from the side of Cerberus. They're not taking it easy on this bottom side, which is fair. Again, Buns is the substitute player. He's a substitute support player, let alone ADC, as opposed to anything else, as the Huber does not get hit by Eugen's Q. Instead, the Pope will just continue to rain down from Artemis, making sure to punish this lane as much as possible. Just completely prevented Buns from getting any of the wave as well, so they just completely shoved him away, made sure that the wave was gone as well. So it's not even the kills that necessarily make the most difference here, but everything compounding all at once. Cerberus playing around this bottom side perfectly. This is not the person you want fed.
Yeah.
Mid lane.
God, yeah, no, there's nothing he can do. BOB, the body slam right into the wall under his own turret, just goes, I do not care. You die here. And they're looking to do the same thing. The Drakthar, he's getting lower and lower, but Blazes on full cooldowns at the moment. Just can't find the damage that he needs to take him out.
Yeah, it's again, I expected coming into the day, especially since Slater is not around and is usually their primary carry, or one of their primary carries, that was going to be a problem.
No, Buns! They run him down under his own turret! This has to be illegal!
They have bailed on bottom lane. They've bailed on Buns completely. Like, he just doesn't exist in this game. Poor man has to come in and substitute in an off roll, and they've still just thrown him to the wolves.
Yeah, Artemis. Okay, Flash is gonna come out, gonna dodge that abscond, so it's gonna stay alive.
Just a little bit. Able to stay relatively safe there. Has the flash. Does have to burn Ghost and Flash. Still had heal as well from Huber, so there's still a possibility that was going to be an okay situation one way or another. But yeah, again, it seems like Genius Esports, they already made the very tough call to not have Slater in the lineup. We've heard reasons why, but again, it's more speculation than anything else. We're not going to talk about it, but Buns is clearly having not the grace of games, having to take the Jinx instead of taking the Zeri, having to play a less optimal champion, as well as just having struggles with the AD role in general, and already BOB just kind of sacrificing it. Again, their win condition is set to be Blazes, it seems like, in this game, who hasn't had the greatest of splits, but has shown before. As
oh my god, so much CC comes through though as Drakthar eats the dirt. Blazes picking up that cycle, hijacking it, able to utilize it perfectly. I was just about to say that this is where things might look dangerous for Genius Esports, right? Because now we have that cyclone coming up for Drakthar, but they just hit him with the Uno reverse card. They're like, no sir. And now look at that, BOB on his way up in the top, and the body slam should come through any second. He's waiting, he's buying his time. Hexagon made him as well, and there's nowhere for Pun can do. The counter strike, the flash, the thumbs up just to be toxic and rub it in, and he walks away from that like it was nothing.
Oh my goodness. And this whole time, they're giving away their bottom side. They lost the Rift Herald to Drakthar seconds ago. Yes, they got the kill, but Artemis is just going to pull entire bottom tower and is already up 40 CS over Buns to begin this game. Once again, Genius Esports have come to the conclusion that they are not winning anything on bottom side, and so they have completely given it away. But the problem is, now you are feeding one of, if not the best member on the side of Cerberus to give gold to in Artemis, not only being on the Sivir pick, but also just being one of the primary carries for this team in general. This has never been a strategy that's worked. When this team won in winter, this was exactly what most teams were trying to do, is play away from Artemis, and it did work. It just didn't happen. There's a reason why they won that split. Maybe it's a little bit of a different team, but once again, it seems like more and more often towards the end of the season, we're seeing a bit more of the Cerberus that ended up winning the split, as opposed to, you know, the team that ended up falling short of expectations in the spring of this year. And this game has been incredibly indicative of that once again, as Cerberus putting a lot of their chips into the Artemis basket, and honestly, it's coming up well for them so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely paying off. You look at the farm difference, you look at the item differential as well. Already has boots, already has the Kraken Slayer. Everything's looking up for Artemis right now. And when you're one of those pivotal building blocks, that's just exactly what you need. And then you look, the kills over on CS are fairly evenly split as well, which is always nice to see. Right? So really everyone is going to be a bit of a threat. As you see this Rift Shell getting dropped, that's a bit of a threat for this mid turret, because there's no one to answer, no one to defend it in any sense or form. And so it should be going down. Yeah, there we go. Down it goes. No one there to even defend it. BOB on the flank, though. They might look for some kind of player. They're going to try and maybe get this crash, and I don't think they're going to find it. Nope, they won't, and they're just going to opt to back off instead. And BOB is like, you know what? We'll just spook them.
I've already torn down 2 full towers as a result of this game. It's going to be a pop this ultimate.
They're going to reverse it, actually. Cyclone coming through. BOB going to go gold. They're going to switch targets on the EG, take him out. Next up, Bun's on the list, taking him out too. Blaze is running for his life. The turret will be his only saving grace, as BOB going to look to head top lane as well. And finally, they're looking to pivot to go get that drag. It's been 11 minutes, make that almost 12. They'll finally get that first drag, and they're also going to get this kill on Punya. This time around, nowhere for him to go. Get lower and lower and lower and lower, and down he goes.
Again, it's peanuts compared to what else is being given across the map. It seriously is just like BOB continues to look for these plays, and every time something goes awry, he just bails on it and just does something else, which is fine because they're getting something somewhere on the map as a result of it. But when you're losing, bottom tower direct into mid tower, into a fight in the mid lane, into a dragon, and you're just losing these chain objectives again and again, it's such a difficult situation. Here, it's Drakthar that makes the difference inside of the fight, but Huber's already insanely strong. That ultimate did a ton of damage. Artemis is already insanely strong inside of the game. I'm surprised they didn't stick for mid tower and just try to push that down in the face of Blazes, because he doesn't have wave clear and he's a melee champion. They could have easily bullied him off that one, then walked in for Mountain Drake, but I guess they didn't see where BOB was and whether Coded could join in that fight or not, but felt like an opportunity for them that they might have left on the table. Not to say that they needed anything else, because 12 minutes in the game, 4K gold advantage, first dragon. That's more than enough on its own to count this as a win so far from the side of Cerberus.
Yeah, definitely still a good position to be in. BOB, though, with the big brain long con play here, really biding his time and waiting. They have Vaultbreaker up as well. There's no way that Pud falls. He might just actually fall for it. Drakthar is at the top. He's trying to come on in, so we do see the counter-strike getting dropped, but the keg to push him back into harm's way. Down he goes. The final chapter gets dropped, and they'll find themselves coded at the very least. The Cyclone getting dropped as well. Ejin is going to be able to escape due to BOB with the body slam, so ultimately they will go 1-for-1. Blaze is on his way up as well, though, but not looking like they're going to find too much more.
And the combined team fighting prowess from not only like the Wukong Yuumi combination, when you throw Artemis on the Sivir into everything, it becomes a really menacing 5-on-5. And so Genius Esports are very much attempting to play away from anything that could be combined like that. When you've got that combination of ultimates, that combination of AoEs and multi-target hits, they lose pretty much every single circumstance. They are much more focused on bringing down single targets at a time. This is Pun's like 4th time being ganked in a game like this. I don't know what Yijin was doing right there, fault breaker in the exact wrong direction to do anything. Now, props to BOB, because again, he was in the right position and also stalled for a lot more time, didn't allow for Drakthar to get any closer because the turret was a lot further up than anywhere else.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait though, because right now it's a huge fight going on. Artemis actually about to be taken out. The king has been taken down. No one there to back him up. Yano had to dip, had to leave him in the dust, and with no Yumis and Zoomies, he went down and ate the dirt. Same thing going to happen to Drakthar if he's not careful. That precision protocol doing quite a bit of damage, but with that mid tier 1 still being up, there's just nothing that Genius Esports can do right now.
I was trying to figure out what exactly Artemis was doing in the opposing jungle for what looked to me like absolutely no reason. But as we get a fight in the mid tower, things are back.
That is rough. Coded just barely getting out of that one alive. So close turret damage diff ain't happening today as he gets out with, I mean, just a sliver of HP. I think Drakthar might still be looking for something. And yep, we see the cyclone coming out. A lot of damage on the BOB. If they can find this kill, that'd be huge. They take out one. Yijin in the thick of things onto Yaddle, trying to find something. They're back at the turret, though. They won't take him out, though. Blazes just barely able to escape, but oh, Yijin won't. Never mind. He's not going anywhere. Artemis is looking to just run it to the bank. He should get this last kill as well. And there we go. A triple kill for Artemis.
Able to stall long enough. It's not like late enough in the game for this kill to have mattered, and Artemis was able to come back through mid lane. And this was Drakthar and Huber both got their ultimates up just seconds before this ended up happening, and so they saw Artemis coming in. They saw this team was kind of posturing him out of the mid turret, and they're like, Genius doesn't expect this in the slightest. You can see a picture-in-picture. They are still hunting for more members of the team. Coden might just die anyway. Huber's going to grab him. But second Rift Herald of the game now, multiple fight wins. There's little knocks against them because Genius Esports has been leaning heavily into one side of the map or the other with multiple members. But honestly, they're shifting their weight around like this makes it super easy to just trip them, make them fall face first into the pavement again and again and again as Cerberus keep making their strikes feel so much more impactful.
Yeah, definitely. Every time Genius finds anything, anywhere, they're always, it feels like, losing something somewhere else. And then when you do end up finding these team fights, right, then it's just Artemis, who's just an absolute speed teamer, right? He's running that Mach 5 constantly. He's got the ghost, he's got the ulti, he's got the zoomies, he's got everything in the bank. And Coden actually ended up getting pretty much baited there, hook shot over the wall. But then, oh my God, that was chef's kiss right there. No, what is this? What are they setting up for?
They're desperate. Like, it's so obvious that Genius Esports are desperate inside of this game. They've been struggling the most of this split. They've got this massive loss streak. Like, they have not been able to figure out how they want to play as a team, how they want to play individually. This is a team that we had higher expectations for as we kicked off the split, and it just has fallen completely to the wayside as they have not been able to find wins at all on the second half of the split either, which has been very, very difficult to watch, unfortunately, for a team that's got some solid talent on it. And it's kind of culminated in this position where, once again, Slater just takes a departure from the roster, and now Buns is playing, and you can see the ramifications of that. 17 minutes in, down 70 CS to Artemis. I know it's not the easiest mark to hit 10 CS a minute, but he is just absolutely devastating. And that's just the one player on this roster. Is all four members of Genius are going after Pun, and they're not even gonna get him yet.
Oh my God! Okay, they find. Okay, at the very least they get him. But look at that! Once again, they follow suit. They're losing everything. They're losing their own base. It's like you can take out Pun, but they're gonna take out your base in return. They lose their bot tier 3. They lose the bot inhibitor. It's gonna crash into this Nexus turret. Down it's gonna go as well. Yijin in the thick of things needs to flash to try and get away, but it doesn't matter. You can't escape your fate. You're paying the Pun price right now. The Pun tax has been paid, and you're gonna lose your second Nexus turret as well, unless they are gonna be able to just barely hold on. Hold offensive. BOB, the GOAT maybe though, comes in with the keg. They find themselves the double kill. The question is though, at what cost?
It was a bold move in general from the side of Cerberus to end the game right here and right now, but I do respect them for giving it a shot. They could have just walked away with the inhibitor, gone back to Dragon, and just said, okay, that's what we'll take. But I think maybe they had seen that Genius Esports wasn't quite in a backing mood yet at the time. The only one who had left really was Yijin. They bring down Yijin pretty quickly with a couple of ultimates. I think, once again, expecting this to be the only person that can stop them. They bring down half the tower, but they forget they're only on like an item and a half at this point in the game. It's only 18 minutes in Echo. And so they're like, oh, that's right. And like you said, BOB with an amazing flank actually has found a couple of these decent plays on the Gragas walking in. Again, it feels too little too late. They don't even get Dragon for that, but at least they do keep their base up to some manageable degree. And now maybe with perma push on bottom side, Buns can farm for once, as Pun once again getting aggressed against.
Yeah, oh my God. No, poor Bun. He can't even step foot out of base. And this time around, actually, Cerberus not going to find anything in return. And I think you make a great point as well with BOB, right? That's just the term too little too late. I feel like this whole game has kind of felt like that, right? It's like so many cool rotations coming out from BOB, right? Always finding, it feels like he's always like in the right position. But by the time he was actually able to do something like that, it just felt like he was lacking the damage, and just they were lacking the map control, the pressure that they needed to make those plays actually sort of, worthwhile.
Yeah. it was so late in the game that it just ended up leading to nothing. And again, kills are great because they get you gold back. The gold lead has been shrunk to 3K after enough kills have gone over to this team. You do have a relatively powerful Silas to work with. But again, you still have to worry about the fact that your Sivir on the side of Cerberus is just so ridiculously strong at this point in the game, and there's not much of a way to try to match that type of thing on the side of Genius Esports. They just have to continue figuring out ways to bear down on this composition as Cerberus kind of walk into multiple members. Once again, BOB and Yijin laying a trap. Drakthar's getting caught in it.
Might just be fruitful indeed, using everything they got, and they are going to find themselves Drakthar. The return coming through, though, and now it looks to me like Yijin is going to be paying the price. He goes down. Artemis is going Mach 5 once again, just sends out the Boomerang Blade and walks away. He knows his team should be able to clean up if Punk can get on top of him. There we go, leaps on top of him, takes him out, and they're just looking to run things down. Dude, Artemis, kind of based, not going to lie. That Boomerang, and then just like turns around. He's like, yeah, you got this, right? Just clean up.
There's a whole reason that this team has been competitive for a long time. There were times where this team has gone undefeated in the first half of a split, and a large part of that's been Artemis. Artemis was like one of, if not the best ADC in the league for a good amount of time, ended up taking, or like falling behind like a different ADC. I think it was Slater back in the day when Slater was the number one ADC in the VCS. And after that, Artemis has just come into his own, and he's oftentimes in the conversation for number one. Even when his team currently sits in 5th place in the VCS, it's still super easy to see just how talented and just how good that Artemis can be in any team fighting type setting. He is the rock that this whole organization, this whole team has been built on, right? They've had a lot of turnover this year. They've tried a bunch of different rosters this year. They had 3 different substitute positions inside of the split, but it's him that's always been the consistency. And you can see it's just so easy again and again. They pick Yijin, they're going right for the Baron. And the only thing that GE can try to do is to do. They could try to contest this, but unfortunately, BOB on the other side of the map tells me that they're not even going to try. They're just going to give this Baron up. And that is a disaster for this GE team, because that should lead to top and mid both getting pushed in, probably top inner tower alone just being pushed, and set up for 3rd Dragon, which is going to make it easy to try to grab this Hex Tech Soul if you're on the side of Cerberus Esports, which is that's not good for late game. BOB, you got to not be farming right now, man. You're the only playmaker this team has.
Yeah, kind of anticipating. I feel like, you got to stop this minion wave from pushing in, right? Especially with that bot lane just having absolutely nothing there for you. And we get to see Yijin just getting absolutely picked off. Was it worth it, Yijin? Was the control ward worth it? Was that 30 gold really worth your life and the Baron? As they are going to look to try and find something here on Pun once again, taking the brunt of things, but it does not even matter. He tanked long enough for his boys to arrive, and they absolutely run them down. Tier 2 going to go down in this top, and they're going to keep pushing this minion wave. And now Genius Esports, they know that they're in trouble. The dash over the wall here from Yarda, they're going to look to just find things. BOB with the flash to try and get away, but it didn't even matter. Down he goes. You can throw the keg all you want. Throwing in the afterlife because he's down for the count. So is that tier 3. So is this inhibitor as well. And I think, Rebel, that this is just it. The final stand coming out here from Coded and Buns. Yeah, you drop those chompers, but they ain't going to be doing too much. I hate to say it. And with that, the Nexus is exposed. Pun trying to get the pick, but at the very least, they won't die. And so ultimately,